Here are some of the masks that Seraphina and I have made while we are preparing for a Murder Mystery Masquerade. Butterfly based one, a little devil, and our large devil. Today we're going to be making one similar to this. It's a bird mask because Richard wants one that looks like a raven. To make this leather mask, we're going to need some 5-ounce toolable leather. When it's dry, it's pretty stiff, and when it's damp, the surface can be stamped, and when it's wet, it can be molded to the shape that it will keep again when it dries. You need a sharp blade. Make sure that it's really sharp. This is a fresh X-Acto knife, cutting mat to cut on, markers, some patterns, and a face. This is a child's mask available at Michael's or Joann's for less than $1, and or you can use your actual face. First thing we're going to do is make a pattern. This is a pattern I'd previously cut, and the eye spacing is quite wide. That's because the center is going to be taken up with the folding in the mask. But this does not yet look like a bird. So I'm going to fold this in half and put this on a piece of paper that's also folded in half. And I'm going to trace it. Line up my folded edges. And that's just to get a general feel. Now over the eyebrows, I'd like some detailing. Some longer, let's see. Feather type things that we can twist and give visual interest. And then we'll need a beak. Come straight down, about middle of the point of the eye. Nice and long. And that will cut out with our X-Acto blade. Now, because it was folded in half when we cut it out, we now have a pattern for a mask when we open it. Our next step will be to trace this onto the leather. Now with smooth even pressure, I'm going to take our very sharp X-Acto knife, or leather cutting knife, anything else you have, and in a nice, smooth but firm action, I'm going to try to cut through it in a single stroke. And I'm just eyeballing it, if you will excuse the pun. Some of these edges are a little bit rough, so I'm going to take a small smooth stone, my burnishing stone, and push down these fibers, burnish them, particularly around the eye hole, to press them all back into place and give the mask a nice smooth finish. Next we're going to wet the leather to make it moldable. I have here some filtered water because my local water has a lot of sediment in it, and I don't want those to dry on the mask and alter its look. So, for 3 to 5 seconds. You don't want it to be dry immediately when you take it out. You've got to have some time to work with it. Now for this I want it to have some visual interest. It's a dry day. I live in Arizona. So I want it to have some eyebrow detailing in here. So I'm going to start by pinching at the eyebrow. I'm going to put it on my face. I can use my face in the mirror or on here. And line up the eye holes. And start pressing down around the bridge of the nose. And up with the eyebrows. And up with the beak. Difficult thing to push all at the same time. Try to stretch. That wonderful quality of leather. It is so wonderfully moldable. And leather is different everywhere. Some places will it be easier to twist and shape and others harder. It comes in various thicknesses, but it's not even throughout the whole thickness. So you've got a lot of shaping, a lot of things to keep in mind. And keep working it as it continues to dry. Alright, I've allowed my mask to dry, and it has some really fun shapes in here. I have a great strong eyebrow, good long beak, I put a little hook in it, and all of these details were achieved just by futzing with it, playing around, letting it dry, re-wetting it when I needed to, and holding it firmly down onto the mask form, allowing it all to dry. Now it needs to be decorated. First thing I'm going to do is paint it. They have a blue sheen to them. So to achieve that, I'm going to mix my own colors. I'm going to start with blue. And mix in some dark brown. Add some water. And my silver needs to be shaken. The silver just for a hint of the glimmer. And mix this up with the back of the brush. But it looks like a dark, dark black, but it has a slight blue sheen to it when the light hits it. But remember, just very little black was used. Most of it is blue and brown. Now I'm going to begin painting. Alright, the mask has been painted, and remember this was not with black, but with blue, brown, and silver mixed together. A hint of black to make it, give it a little dark. And it's because of this I'll be able to do some of the detailing in dark black, and all of these were done with cheap acrylic paints. The next thing to add are some feathers for detailing. When you're snipping feathers, you don't want to cut the whole feather, you'll just end up with more floaty things. So you're just going to snip right at the center point. However, if you have too much fuzzies that you don't want, they can just be pulled against the grain right off, and then I would suggest putting those directly in the trash. Otherwise you'll be cleaning them up for the next year. And here is the finished mat.